Good morning. Steve Reed with the morning grain comments. Well, markets are lower today, follow through from yesterday's selling when the funds sold about 8,000 beans and 9,000 corn. Beans right down 10 cents at 14.04, which is the low for the overnight. Corn down 5 cents, which is at 5.79, which is also the low for overnight. And Chicago wheat's down 8 cents at 6.35, also the low of overnight. Stocks are lower. Crude's lower. Gold, silver, copper, coffee, sugar, and cotton are all lower. And what some people call is inflation date, when we get some inflation data from the U.S. And it's interesting that unchanged would be bearish to the market because some people think that inflation has peaked. The only problem is anybody that goes to the grocery store knows that that's not true. We also have a lot of data out as far as what the USDA might say on Friday, with a crop of 15,120 for corn this year and 4,494 for the beans. For the 22-23 carryouts, 603 in wheat versus 598, 1366 in corn versus 1342, and 212 in the beans versus 210. Quite a bit of range there in that new crop carryout between 179 and 250. With the 23-24 first carryout, 602 in the wheat, 2094 in the corn, and 293. It's interesting when you look at the first guesstimates of 2023-24 corn carryout. It's worldwide at 307 million tons versus 295 this year. Beans are 108 versus 99 this year, while wheat is 259 versus 265 this year. Argentina corn 35 versus 37, beans 24 versus 27, Brazil corn 126 versus 125, soybeans 155 versus 154, and there's some talk that the corn crop in Brazil could be over 130 million tons. We'll also be watching to see what they say as far as new crop estimates, especially for corn in Ukraine and next year for Brazil. Argentina's numbers should be back to normal for both corn and beans. And we also are going to be looking at some of the wheat numbers, especially Canada, Australia, Europe, and Russia, and see what they say for next year. As far as the wheat numbers are concerned, a total wheat crop number of 1789 versus 1650 last year. Winter wheat 1230 versus 1104. Hard red 590 versus 531, and some people are as low as 500, with Kansas at 180. Soft wheat 400 versus 337, white winter 241 versus 236. So again, overnight, the May Kansas City, Chicago spread hit a new high of 276, while the July he also hit a new high of 213, showing the difference between maybe a suspect hard red winter wheat crop versus a very favorable soft red winter wheat crop. There were some rumors yesterday that the corridor talks were back on. We haven't got confirmation of that, and that offered some resistance, especially into the wheat and corn market. So we'll chop around lower without a lot of buying in front of the USDA report, and then we'll see if we can find some support after the report.